Alright, we're just gonna talk a little bit. You wanna go first, Jen? We're just gonna tell the story of who we hiked for.
Alright.
And that's it.
I like it.
Right here?
Yeah.
Ball. Can I eat beef jerky while I eat?
Yeah.
I brought this patch. This was my Kazovac patch. The 2nd Marine Expeditionary Force. I don't know if you guys want to look at it, but this was our patch while we were in Iraq in 2006.
Let me see. I like wait for you to put it away.
Yeah. So it says Tutela sub incendia, and it means that's Latin for protection under fire. So we were flying.
TSI?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's where we got TSI from.
I was a crew chief, a door gunner, in a CH-46 helicopter. And so today I'm hiking for the crew of Morphine 1-2. They went down on February 7th. 2007 is a year after I left, but the same helicopters. And so there were 7 crew members on board, and they were flying medevacs in the same province, in Al Anbar province in Iraq, and they were shot down by enemy fire. On February 7th, they found all 7 crew members still on board with fire extinguishers in hand.
Wow.
Yeah, they were trying to they went down fighting, but
It was on the news. They showed it on because of the
it was on YouTube on like Wiki.
the
WikiLeaks.
the insurgents recorded it and it broadcast all over all the news channels.
It was a shoulder fire rocket. So that was the first thing we saw. We heard that a helicopter went down, and then that video surfaced. And it was them with a shoulder fire rocket. Allah Akbar, and they shot it down.
Durka folks.
And you telling that you guys were replacing them? Your unit was replacing them?
Yeah, so my unit was on site replacing them. So there were some crew members changing over different units and everything like that. It was the pilot, Captain Jennifer Harris. It was her last flight.
Wow.
And before she was gonna leave to go teach ROTC.
She's the pilot?
Mm-hmm. And so it was her last flight, so she handpicked her crew. It was like the best guys, the best lieutenant, the best crew chiefs. It was a dream team. It was their last flight. So I'll drink to that. I'll eat beef jerky to it.
Well, I mean, all right. I'm hiking today for the Boston Jakes that passed this year. 2 fire guys that that job was probably their whole life. They died doing what they love. They died fighting the fight.
One thing that's crazy is the radio traffic.
Yeah.
Did you hear that? Did you listen to that, Mike? The radio traffic from those guys?
Oh. Those Boston guys?
They
were trapped in the
you
basement?
saw the building and all that stuff, right? The video, like on the news.
I was in, yeah.
Well, they went into I don't know, Jen, but they went into the building. They went down in the basement. Went in the basement. From what I could tell, like the basement, go down the stairs, and the fire was over here. Well, went to go knock down the fire, and then they lost water.
Oh shit.
So then the fire was coming back around them, where they couldn't go back up the stairs, so they had to go back further the opposite way to the basement. There was no exit there. So they ditched their hose line, called Mayday. Hey, we need a line, need our water. Well, they asked for water probably for like 6 times before they finally ditched their hose line. Went back toward the front of the building inside the basement, and we're just waiting there. Probably call for water, see if somebody's gonna come get them. They kept saying, "Yep, water's on its way. We're coming to get." They didn't have to get another water supply. And you just hear like the radio traffic. At the last radio traffic you heard was the captain and his vibrator and his mask was going off. He's like, "Is anybody coming?" Like dinging and stuff like that. And then that was the last you heard of him. And then they threw the 9th alarm and pulled everybody out. They couldn't even go in there. There's the guys that are like, "I don't care. I know the risk. I'm gonna go down in there and get him." And then Tank Chief said, "Nope, I'm not going in." 2 guys. Because I think they're in there calling probably for about I would want to say like 6 to 10 minutes, calling and being told that like someone's coming. And the whole time they're just sitting in this dark basement, can't see him. Their air
Hot
just
as fuck, getting hotter and hotter. And
yeah, you could tell in his voice too.
Suck.
You could tell in his voice that he's hurting, like getting burnt, because he's like, "Is anybody coming?" Like getting panicky. Anyways,
Wow.
this is those guys.
Yeah.
Those guys.
All right, go ahead, Taylor.
Drink that.
Face this way, or oh, you're good. Never mind.
This is Sergeant Daniel J. Patron. He was attached to my friend's unit. And during the push for Iraq, he died defusing an IED. Passed away August 2011, August 6, 2011. He was my friend said he was probably one of the funniest guys and best guys to be around. He was just always out there. He's always like the first one, like after a hike, he said like always like energized. He said he never knew how he always had energy out in the desert. He was defusing an IED.
Is your buddy worked with him?
Yeah, he's
That's a crazy job right there.
Yeah.
Is he a combat engineer?
Yeah, just a combat engineer. He was when he went the first time for his first deployment, he was actually working in the barracks, and they went on missions, and they would throw people together, and they just go on little things. And so he was with them, and then he said he saw him the last time. He went on just a little crazy mission, nothing important, and then came back, and they all got split up, and he was only with 2 other people, and then he heard about it. And it was I asked him who. I was telling him about this hike, and he was crazy. He was like, "Dude, you guys are so fucking awesome for doing this. I can't believe you guys are doing it. You guys are awesome. This is the guy I want you to hike for and shit like that." So, all right. So drink one for me and one for everybody else. It's all right. I'll do that.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Go ahead, Mike.
I don't know anybody specific. I've had friends that have served over there, but God bless, they all came back. My ex-brother-in-law was a ranger. Good guy. We actually clicked. Well, I actually miss him. He was just a good dude, you know. But after the divorce and everything, it sucks. I don't get to see him anymore. But I guess I'm just hiking for everybody, you know. I respect all the soldiers, and
Thankfully, all your buddies came back.
yeah, no, it's very lucky, and I'm very happy. Glad they're here, and I guess for those that don't have someone hiking for them, that's what I'm hiking for.
Cool.
All right.
All right, hey, you gotta come up.
So
You can move the camera if you want.
Oh, okay.
Probably
I just kind of wanted to get everybody there.
Appreciate it.
yeah,
Whatever.
happy to
All
share.
right. So
I do.
I'm hiking for another Marine. His name is Jason Denham. He was a corporal. For a little bit of history and background on Fallujah, the city. You guys, have you heard of the Blackwater guys that died?
Mm-hmm.
Well, after the insurgents killed the 4 Blackwater guys and hung them from a bridge, the Army and the Marine Corps were set to take the city back over again because it was an insurgent stronghold, the whole city. And it was a city of a population of about 300,000 people. So to put in perspective, the same size as Stockton, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
They gave those guys, for a week before the invasion, they told everybody, if you're not, like, we're coming in here in 7 days, pack all your stuff and get out, because if you're still here, you're going to be considered, you know, enemy.
Stuff, yeah.
So mostly everybody left, some people didn't, and then everybody else was there. Mainly the insurgents, like, bunkered in, got time to enforce their houses and for all the ambushes and all that stuff. Well, the Marine Corps started invading, and the story of this Marine, he's 22 years old, he was a corporal.
Wow.
He was on a patrol, vehicle-mounted patrol, and a convoy, which kind of like caught my eye because being a motor T operator, our whole job is convoys, and it depends on, you know, depending on the mission that we're attached to, it depends on our unit we're attached to, depends on our mission. So this Marine was on a vehicle convoy, vehicle-mounted patrol, and they heard I think the company commander was a few blocks over, and his convoy got ambushed. So they heard the explosions and the gunfire and all that stuff going off. So Corporal Dunham took his fire team, and they dismounted the vehicles and then just went into the city to go check it out to see if they could help. They got a few blocks in, and they came up across about 7 vehicles in a line. It looked like they were trying to like get out. So they came up and they had to search the vehicles. So they stopped all the vehicles, started going to the driver's side, and all the passengers telling them to get out so they can search all that stuff. One of the Marines saw AKs and RPGs in the backseat of this Toyota like pre-runner type SUV thing. And Corporal Dunham was getting the driver out, and the driver got out and then charged at him. So grabbed him, and they started wrestling to the ground, went to the ground, and then 2 of his other Marines started to run over to help him. And Corporal Dunham shouts out, "No, get back, watch his hands." And what the insurgent done is he had a grenade, and he had tackled them and dropped the grenade, so they were both going to die. So Corporal Dunham grabbed his Kevlar. I don't know if it came off or he pulled it off during the wrestle, but he put the grenade right, or his Kevlar, his helmet, right on top of the grenade, and it exploded. So he was covered with his body. Both of the Marines that were next to him, they all fell back. Both the Marines got up. The insurgent, they all survived the blast. The insurgent started to run away, and the other Marines shot him, killed him, and then they took everybody, got them all first aid, got them out of there. But anyways, Corporal Dunham survived, and about 7 days later, on the 22nd of April 2004, he died of his wounds with his family and next to him by his side.
Oh, wow.
So I'm just going to read the citation. It's kind of like he received the Medal of Honor for it. So this is the citation that was written for him when his family got the Medal of Honor for Corporal Dunham.
Hey, Nate, this thing like focuses and unfocuses like nonstop, so you're
Okay,
blurry
that's
like
fine.
half the time.
That's fine. So, for services as set forth in the following citation, for conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity, at the risk of his life above and beyond call of duty while serving as a rifle squad leader, 4th Platoon, Company, Kilo, 3rd Battalion, 7th Marines. On 14 April 2004, Corporal Dunham's squad was conducting a reconnaissance mission in the town of Karabala, Iraq, when they heard rocket-propelled grenade and small arms fire erupted approximately 2 kilometers to the west. Corporal Dunham led his combined anti-terror team towards engagement to provide fire support to their battalion commander's convoy, which had been ambushed as it was traveling to Camp Asayaba. As Corporal Dunham and his Marines advanced, they quickly began to receive enemy fire. Corporal Dunham ordered his squad to dismount their vehicles and led one of his fire teams on foot several blocks south of the ambushed convoy, discovering 7 Iraqi vehicles in a column attempting to depart. Corporal Dunham and his team stopped the vehicles and searched them for weapons. As they approached the vehicles, an insurgent leaped out and attacked Corporal Dunham. Corporal Dunham wrestled the insurgent to the ground, and an ensuing struggle saw the insurgent release a grenade. Corporal Dunham immediately alerted his fellow Marines to the threat. Aware of his imminent danger, and without hesitations, Corporal Dunham covered the grenade with his helmet and body bearing the brunt of explosion, and shielding his Marines from the blast. In an ultimate selfless act of bravery, in which he was mortally wounded, he saved the lives of at least 2 fellow Marines. By his undaunted courage and intrepid fighting spirit and unwavering devotion to duty, Corporal Dunham gallantly gave his life for his country, thereby reflecting a great credit upon himself and upholding the highest traditions of the Marine Corps and the United States Naval Service. So here's a picture of him.
How old was he?
22.
He's 22.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Badass.
So,
You're more of a man than
We'll
ever be, right?
Yeah.
22 years old.
Yeah.
Jeez.
10 years ago. So he'd be like 32 right now this year. So actually he died 10 years ago last month in April.
Wow.
Respect.
Yeah.
Deploying and getting put in positions like that probably make you grow up real quick, huh?
Yeah. And it's funny too because like being a Marine, or actually in boot camp, like we do this thing called the Crucible where you go out 3 days, no like lack of sleep, lack of food, and just physical abuse. I think we hiked like 40 miles in 3 days. And then you go to each spot and you do like these obstacles, and then you go to the spot and talk about Marines in the past wars of like Medal of Honor recipients, and he was actually one of them. So every Marine that goes through boot camp in the Crucible learns about this specific Marine along with others. And it's funny because in boot camp I remember
Is that just at Pendleton or is that both?
Both, all of them. I remember in boot camp, I forget what portion of it was, but anyways, how they kind of like, they get you in that mindset of like not self-sacrifice, but sacrifice yourself for others, teamwork, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The guy next to you.
Yeah, the guy next to you. And a funny thing, thinking back about it, is that reaction of following orders and all that kind of stuff. we'll talk about jumping on a grenade. They would take a roll of toilet paper, tape it up so it wouldn't fall apart. But that would be the grenade in boot camp. And then like your drill instructors walk around and just throw it, and then you go grenade, and then your reaction was to jump on it. And it's kind of, I mean, looking back, it's funny because the drill instructors were just having fun. And I remember getting, just like from me to you, like my head was like turned to the side, and the drill instructor goes grenade, and bing, like tagged me right in the dome. And everybody starts laughing, and then you just literally kind of just try and jump on it. And
try to find it.
Yeah, dogpiling. But like just simple things like that you don't really realize what that reaction, you know, can do for you. It's all fun and games. But you know,
All muscle memory and
yeah. But anyways, just wanted to. Oh, cheers for this for Corporal
Hey, brother.
Yeah.
respect.
There's like one more thing too to think about is that, like what Tyson said, people from our generation, like our generation right now is a voluntary force, and they're deciding to go and, you know, do this and having to make those decisions, life and death decisions for themselves and for their crew, and then they have to come home and readjust. So there's like that whole, it's like a whole nother side of the battle is like coming home and readjusting, and there's like veteran suicide is like through the roof, and it's all our generation that's doing it. It's like 9 veterans every day that kill themselves.
Could you imagine,
because
too,
they can't
like,
readjust.
22 years old, this guy, what rank was he? Was he like...
A corporal.
Corporal, is that...
That's right.
I mean...
That's like 2-3
He's-
years in, probably.
So, I mean, he has like, almost, I mean, he has like people under him, basically.
Yeah.
He's 22 years old, making like decisions
Life
that are
and death
affecting life and death decisions.
Yeah.
And then he comes back and he's just this POS guy that, you know, nobody
Yeah.
probably gives two craps about.
Yeah.
Can't get a job, nobody gives him any respect, and it's just like, how much of a culture shock would that be?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
and so that's the hard part, and that's what these veterans are facing when they come home.
Right, and people are just
Yeah.
probably, you know, and then there's the
They
other
don't-
half of the
they
people
don't
that
understand.
don't even, like, you know, that probably dislike him for being, you know, in
Yeah.
the military. People that, you know, don't agree with the war, and they, you know, it's crazy.
Respect to you too. I didn't say that, but
The other thing, I was reading a bunch of stories too, and one thing that, speaking about decisions having to be made, real quick, just a story of a gunnery sergeant that got awarded a Naval Cross, but he wanted to go, long story short, he wanted to go rescue a bunch of Marines that were pinned down in the city, same thing. RPGs blew up their convoy and they were stuck, and he comes rolling in with another convoy full of Marines. They take fire and get some Marines that are, you know, ready and willing to fight, and all he says is, "Oh, give me 2 saw gunners that aren't afraid to die today." And then, sure enough, every Marine stood up, ready to go, and he told them, like, "I don't want anybody that has kids or that's married to be staying back."
Wow.
And then they went in, got all the Marines inside the house that were pinned down.
Oh,
Threw 'em
I
on the
remember
convoy and
that.
took
I
down.
remember hearing that. I think you were talking about that.
But like stuff like that, like, can you imagine 19, 20 years old that aren't, you know, somebody tells you let's go because are you ready to die? So.
nothing compared to that, but there's been a few times on the job as a fireman I've had a few calls where shit was like electrical lines or something funky to where it could go south fast. And I had captains that had wives and kids in college and things like that. And they were going to go do something, whatever they had to be done, and I was like, "Hey, Cap, I'm single. I got no kids. You're not going in there." We argued for a while, and you know, eventually I convinced them to, like, you know, let me do it, just because I have no wife, I have no kids, I have no ties, I have no responsibilities. You have your whole life, so I mean, not to take away.
No.
I didn't mean anything by that, but
No,
just,
yeah. Well, I mean, it's part of the job.
Yeah.
Sacrifice.
I do think about that in my job for the guys that
Yeah.
are married with kids, and I don't, so I try to step up for them.
So, anyways, here's the Corporal Dunham and everybody else.
Yeah.
Very soon.
Here's we're gonna do this since this is the first annual. I got this logbook for us, and we have the date and where we're at, and we just kind of did, you know, who we're hiking for, and then if you have somebody specific, the date they died, and then just put your name next to it. So, and then if you want, you can keep that picture in here. I'll probably just put mine in there too, and then yeah.
I can't have your
And
patch?
then you guys just do whatever.
I love this patch
Good
though.
Memorial Day, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
And then where'd that pin go?
It's on your shirt. Yeah.
There's a lot of dents.